Hello, everyone. Matt here again. If you want to jump straight into the story, you will find the timestamp in the pinned comments below. If you're not aware, I am doing these quick introductions to show YouTube that there is a human creator behind this channel. Before we start, I want to let you know End Times Ambience is now on Spotify and Rumble. Links in the comments below, as well as Patreon, where you'll get exclusive videos and early access to my shows. So I'll be honest, before I started this channel, I was not familiar with the SCP Foundation. But after tons and tons of requests to do scenarios based on the Foundation, I had to check it out. And man, that can keep this channel going for years to come with how many scenarios they have on there. Today's story is based on SCP-001 When Day Breaks. And I'll be honest, writing this was a particular challenge because if you're familiar with the event, it's instantaneous. The sun hits you, whether it be sunlight or reflected sunlight off the moon, you're changed. So in order to make this last longer than 30 seconds, I set this during the new moon cycle in the hopes that it will provide a sense of dread as the news reporters are reporting as the sun slowly comes up across the globe. So I'm incredibly grateful for all the recommendations that led me to the lore of the SCP Foundation in this particular video. So I really hope you enjoy my take on SCP-001 When Day Breaks. Enjoy the show.
The light is a gift, the warmth is a home. Shed your skin, you are not alone.
Good morning and welcome to the 7 o'clock hour. I'm Connie Porter. We're going to start with the weather because if you're heading out this morning, you'll want to hear this. It is a beautiful day. Clear skies from coast to coast today. Temperatures running about 4 degrees above average for the season. New moon tonight, so if you're doing anything outdoors after dark, bring a flashlight. Meteorologists are calling it one of the cleaner spring mornings in recent memory. If you've been waiting for a reason to get outside, today is the day.
Connie, I've got the highway report whenever you're ready.
Let's have it.
Eastbound I-10 is moving well this morning. Nothing unusual to report. There's a lane closure on the interstate near exit 41. That's a maintenance crew, should clear before 9. Otherwise, you're looking at a clean commute.
A clean commute on a beautiful morning. Don't see that combination too often. Coming up after the break, we'll have a look at the state legislature's budget session, which enters its third week today, with no resolution in sight. So business as usual there. And later, we have a story out of a small town in Oregon that I think a lot of you are going to enjoy. A school librarian there has been reading to the same first grade class every Friday morning for 31 years. Her name is Marion Crane. She is 72 years old, and last Friday the kids threw her a party. We'll have that for you in the next half hour. Stay with us.
SCP Foundation Site 17, Daily Operations Log, date redacted, time 0600 hours Eastern Standard Time. Reporting Officer Dr. Samuel Blanchard, Senior Containment Supervisor. Facility status, normal operating condition, all containment wings secured. Backup generators tested at 0400 hours. Full load capacity confirmed. No breaches logged in the preceding 24-hour cycle. Note, external monitoring station flagged a minor deviation in the solar visible light spectrum at approximately 0347 hours. The reading lasted 11 seconds. Magnitude fell within seasonal variation thresholds. Station 7 confirmed the reading did not repeat and reclassified the event as instrument noise. Secondary note, between 0200 and 0500 hours, Night staff reported behavioral changes across 4 separate containment wings. SCP-049 showed increased vocalization, repeating the word pestilence at irregular intervals. SCP-682 became motionless at 0312 and has not responded to any subsequent stimuli. SCP-106's pocket dimension access point contracted by approximately 40% at 0400 hours, then returned to standard aperture within 9 minutes. SCP-096 entered a distress posture at 0351 and has remained in that position since. No common cause has been identified. Cross-referencing with external sensor logs is ongoing. Night staff noted that the behavioral changes coincided with the solar spectrum deviation logged by Station 7. Correlation has been flagged but is not considered actionable at this time. All incidents classified as low priority pending further observation. Next scheduled status report, 1800 hours Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Samuel Blanchard signing off.
We're interrupting scheduled programming with a breaking news alert. It's 10:23 p.m. Eastern Time. We're receiving reports of a large-scale incident across the Pacific Rim. Details at this hour are extremely limited, and I want to be clear, we're still working to verify everything we're hearing. What we know right now is that something happened in Japan at sunrise approximately 5 hours ago. State broadcaster NHK went off the air shortly after 6 a.m. local time and hasn't come back. We're seeing the same across coastal Indonesia and parts of northeastern Australia. Communications out of all 3 regions have gone dark. Not degraded. Dark. We're going live to our correspondent Jeff Jeffries, who is outside the State Department in Washington. Jeff, what are you seeing there?
Connie, I've been out here about 2 hours now, and I've never seen this building lit up this way at night. Every floor, every window. Black vehicles arriving since 8 o'clock. Military plates, I've counted 4 helicopters land in the last 90 minutes. Nobody's talking to press. I've got 2 contacts inside, people I've known for years, and I can't get either of them. One picked up, said about 3 words, and hung up. The other didn't answer at all. That's never happened. Something's going on in there that they won't say out loud.
Is there any indication of what specifically happened over there?
That's what nobody will say. What I'm getting from every source I've reached tonight is that the region's just not responding. Not to us. Not to anyone. You reach out to any contact on that side of the world and there's nothing on the other end. I've talked to 3 other networks tonight. They're all getting the same thing. No signal problems they can identify. No interference, just silence.
Jeff, stay close. We're joined now by Dr. Harding, a solar physicist who spent nearly a decade in federal research. Dr. Harding, thank you for being here at this hour.
I'll help where I can. I want to be upfront. I'm watching the same feeds you are tonight. I don't have any special access right now, but the timing of what we're seeing has my attention, and I'd rather work through it out loud than sit here quietly.
When you say the timing, what exactly stands out to you?
Japan goes dark at approximately 6 in the morning local time. That's sunrise. The Indonesian reports come in at their sunrise. Australia, same thing. Every blackout we're tracking tonight lines up with the moment daylight hits that location.
And that means something to you?
I don't know what it means yet. It could be coincidence. There's no solar event in my data that would explain a communications blackout at this scale. No flare, nothing in the atmospheric readings, nothing that would cut signals this completely and this fast. I keep looking for a mechanism, and I can't find one.
What can you rule out?
I've been trying to rule things out for 3 hours. It's not a flare, we'd have seen that coming days out. It's not geomagnetic, the boundary on this is too clean. Geomagnetic events don't follow a sunrise line. I can't find anything that explains a blackout that covers the entire Pacific Rim and then just stops at a coastline.
What should people here be doing right now?
I honestly don't know. What I can say is that it's nighttime here, and whatever happened over there happened at dawn. We have some time. I hope that means something.
Dr. Harding, thank you. Jeff, one more check before we go back.
Connie, it's dark out here right now. That's all it is. I just looked up the sunrise for Washington, the 500th C. 6:47 a.m., about 8 hours from now.
We're continuing live coverage through the night. If you have family in the Pacific region, keep trying to reach them. Report any contact to local emergency services as they become available. If you're just joining us, we don't know what happened. We're trying to find out.
I've been up since 6 o'clock watching feeds out of Japan that your mainstream media won't show you. 4 monitors, 6 streams, all of them killed within 90 minutes of the first reports coming in. Somebody gave that order. Somebody decided that you were not allowed to see what was happening to human beings on the other side of this planet. And I want you to think hard about who has that kind of reach and why they'd use it tonight of all nights. They're calling it a solar exposure incident. That phrase was written by someone who needed to name something without saying what it was. I'm going to tell you what I saw in those feeds before they went dark, and I need you to hear me. I'm not exaggerating and I'm not speculating. People were liquefying, not burning, not dying from the heat. Their bodies were losing shape in the sunlight, skin and muscle running together, and they were still moving, still alive. I watched a crowd in Tokyo go from human beings to something I don't have a word for, and the whole time they were reaching toward the camera, toward anything still standing, and they were smiling. They don't die. That's what you have to sit with right now. Whatever the sun is doing, it doesn't kill, it converts. The bodies I saw in those feeds were running into each other, pulling together into something larger, and the thing they became kept moving, and they were singing. Dozens of voices coming out of the same mass, sounding like nothing that should be able to sing, and they sounded content. I've spent 4 years telling people there is an organization, no name, no address, no congressional oversight, that exists to contain things the government will never admit are real. Not UFOs, not bioweapons programs, things, anomalies, entities and objects and events that don't follow the rules of the world you think you live in. They catalog them, they lock them away, and they make sure you never hear about it. I've had documents, I've had sources, I've been laughed off every platform I've ever had. I don't know why the sun changed. I want to be straight with you about that. I don't know what triggered this, or when it started, or if it started somewhere else before it started here. Nobody knows. I'm not sure the people who built their careers containing things like this know either. What I know is what I saw in those feeds. What I know is what's in those documents. And what I know is that the thing these people spent decades being quietly terrified of is outside right now, and it's coming west with the sunrise. Here's what I can tell you that will keep you alive. It's dark outside right now. The sun went down hours ago, and there's almost no moon tonight. New moon, I checked, which matters more than you know. Moonlight is reflected sunlight. That's not a metaphor, that's physics. Whatever the sun is carrying right now, the moon carries it too. We caught the timing on this. That luck ends when the sun comes up on the East Coast in about 7 hours. Get underground. Right now, not when this is over, not after one more call. The deepest room in your building with no windows, a basement, anything. Seal every gap, every crack, every place light can get through. And don't wait for official guidance. The statement they're preparing right now is going to tell you there's no immediate danger, and it's going to be written by people who haven't seen what I saw and don't want to. I've been right before. I've been right when they called me paranoid, when they banned my accounts, when my own family stopped returning calls. I'm right about this. Send this to everyone you know. The sun is not safe. The moonlight is not safe. Get dark. Stay dark.
This is an official emergency alert issued by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This alert applies to all counties and municipalities across the contiguous United States, the state of Alaska, the state of Hawaii, and all United States territories. An advisory of national scope has been issued effective immediately. The nature of this advisory is currently under federal assessment. All civilians are directed to shelter in place immediately. Do not go outside. Do not approach windows, skylights or exterior glass of any kind. Do not open exterior doors. All persons currently indoors are directed to move to interior rooms on the lowest available floor and remain there until this advisory is lifted. All persons currently outdoors are directed to seek immediate interior shelter and remain there. Do not attempt to travel by vehicle or on foot. Do not congregate in open areas. Emergency services are not available for general response at this time. Remain where you are. This advisory is in effect nationwide until further notice. An update will be issued no later than 0400 hours Eastern Time, or when new information becomes available. Repeat. All civilians are directed to shelter in place immediately. Do not go outside. Do not approach windows or exterior doors. This has been an official emergency alert from the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
It's 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're just waking up, if someone turned this on to wake you, please stay with us and please stay inside. A federal shelter-in-place order is in effect across the country right now. Do not go outside. Here's what we can confirm at this hour. Approximately 5 hours ago, a region spanning Japan, coastal Indonesia, and parts of northeastern Australia went completely silent. No communications, no signals of any kind. What we have right now are traffic camera feeds that were still transmitting when contact ended. I want to be careful about how I describe what those cameras show, because we don't fully understand it. The footage from Tokyo shows normal early morning traffic that simply goes still the moment daylight hits the street. People who were outside stopped where they were. They didn't run. They didn't get up. The cameras kept recording after that. Shapes began forming at several intersections that weren't there before. The resolution isn't good enough to tell us what they are. Jeff Jeffries has been at the State Department through the night. Jeff, what are you seeing?
Connie, I've been out here since this thing started and the building is still completely lit. Vehicles arriving all night, nobody coming out the front. About an hour ago, a group of maybe 15 staffers were moved out through a side door into an unmarked vehicle. They didn't look at us. The bus didn't have plates. I got a few words from a contact inside about 30 minutes ago. Off the record, nothing attributable. What I can tell you is the word they kept using was sunrise. Not Japan, not the Pacific. Sunrise. Like whatever this is, it isn't finished moving.
Jeff, stay close. Dr. Harding has been on the line through the night. Doctor, you've had several more hours to work with. What do you have?
I've been in contact with a colleague at George Washington University Medical Center. They've had a small number of patients brought in overnight who were outdoors for extended periods. The presentations are consistent with what the camera footage suggests, though I'm not in a position to characterize them further on air. What I can say is that the pattern I flagged earlier is holding. Every data point we have lines up with daylight. Tonight we have a new moon. That means almost no reflected sunlight reaching the surface right now. The cases we're seeing locally are mild compared to what the Pacific data shows. I think that's why we still have a few hours to work with. I still don't know why the sun changed. That question doesn't have an answer yet.
Are people safe outside right now?
I wouldn't say safe. We don't know the exposure threshold yet. There's still ambient light from street sources, cloud scatter, things we haven't fully accounted for. The new moon gives us a window tonight, but I'm not comfortable calling it safe. And that window closes when the sun comes up.
What should people be doing right now?
Get away from windows. If you have a basement, get to it. The federal shelter-in-place order is the right call. And when the sun comes up, do not go outside. I mean that. Don't go outside until we have better information. That's the clearest thing I can tell you right now.
Dr. Harding, thank you. Jeff, one more check.
Connie, the streets out here are empty. An hour of watching this intersection and the only vehicles moving are official. Police, military, unmarked federal cars. No civilians at all. Whatever got through tonight, it was enough to keep people inside. I keep checking east. Still dark. No light yet. Sunrise is in about 5 hours.
We're continuing live coverage through the night. If you're just joining us, stay inside. The federal shelter-in-place order is in effect nationwide. Move to an interior room, away from windows. We don't know what's coming at sunrise. Stay with us.
This is Father Michael Logan, and I'm coming to you from my home tonight. It's past 1:30 in the morning, and I know most of you have already seen the emergency alert that went out. Shelter in place. Stay indoors. I'm not here to tell you anything different. The order is right, and I hope every one of you is following it. I've been watching the reports come in from across the Pacific for the last several hours. I don't have answers for what I've seen. Nobody does right now. What I know is that something has changed about the sunlight, and that every credible source I can find is telling people to stay away from it. That's what I'm telling you too. Whatever is coming at sunrise, you stay inside. I couldn't sleep. I sat at the kitchen table and I thought about all of you in your homes tonight. Maybe scared, maybe alone. And I thought, if I can't come to you, I can at least come through the radio. So that's what this is. This is your pastor, sitting at his kitchen table at 1:30 in the morning, talking to the people he loves. There is a verse that's been sitting with me since I first saw those reports. It's from the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 19. The sun will no more be your light by day, nor will the brightness of the moon shine on you, for the Lord will be your everlasting light, and your God will be your glory. I have read that verse 100 times over the years, and I have never felt it the way I feel it right now. For thousands of years, we have used the sun as a symbol. We built our churches with tall windows because the morning light felt sacred. We watched those colors fall across the floor, and it made us feel like we were somewhere true. We associated light with goodness, with clarity, with the presence of God Himself. And now I am sitting in my kitchen with every blind pulled tight because the light that comes through windows is not safe. Here's what I believe Isaiah was telling us. And I believe he was telling us something we were never supposed to need until now. The holiness was never in the photons. When Scripture speaks of light, it speaks of truth, of love, of the presence of something greater than ourselves. The sun was always a symbol, a beautiful one, a powerful one. But it was always just a symbol. What it pointed to has not changed. The sun will no more be your light by day. That is not a curse. That is not God walking away from us. It is a promise that when the physical light fails, when the thing we trusted to warm us and grow our food and wake us in the morning becomes something else entirely, there is still a light that does not corrupt. There is still a light that does not take. The sun rises in a few hours. I don't know what that means for us. I don't know if the walls of our houses are enough. I don't know if the people we love who are outside today are still themselves. But I know I'm sitting here right now, and I am not alone. I feel that presence the same way I have always felt it. Not through my eyes, but through something deeper than that. I want to speak plainly to those of you who are sheltered with other people right now. Look at who's with you. Not in a little while, right now. Make sure they've had water. Make sure they've eaten something. If someone near you is frightened and they need a hand on their shoulder, put your hand on their shoulder. That is what the everlasting light looks like. It looks like people caring for each other in the dark. If you have a candle, light it. The light we make ourselves. A candle, a flashlight, a lamp in the corner. That's not what harms us. Light a candle and let it mean what it has always meant. It means someone is here. It means the dark isn't empty. It means we are still human, and we haven't stopped caring about each other. I'm going to close with a prayer, and if prayer isn't where you are tonight, that's all right. Just let the word sit with you. Father, wherever you are in all of this, we are frightened. I am frightened, but I am still talking to you, which means I still believe you're listening. The sun is coming, and we don't know what that means for us, but you promised to be our everlasting light, and I am holding you to that promise tonight. Watch over the ones who are sheltered. Keep the ones who couldn't find shelter in your hands. Amen. Stay inside. Stay together. The Lord will be your everlasting light.
This is 0511 personal log. If you're hearing this, it means the automated archive survived longer than I did. It's 3:30 in the morning Eastern Time, day 1 of the solar event. I just got out of an emergency council session and I need to put this on record while it's fresh. The numbers are catastrophic. 3.2 billion confirmed conversions as of 2 hours ago. That number is climbing by 50 million every hour as the sunrise moves west. Our projections say 99.7% of the global population will be converted within 48 hours. That's not a worst case scenario. That's the baseline. Site 43 in Japan is gone. Site 77 in Germany went dark an hour ago. Sites 19 and 17 are holding, but they're reporting pressure from converted personnel at the airlocks. 60% of our field agents are missing or confirmed converted. The Foundation is losing people faster than I can track it. 2 things came out of the council session tonight. The first, I proposed breaking secrecy. I stood up in front of the 05 Council and said we needed to go public. Warn people, tell them what's coming before their sunrise hits. 300 million people on the east coast of North America who could be told to get underground in the next 4 hours. Millions more further west. 056 argued against it. Said it violated our founding principles. 100 years of secrecy, thrown away in one night. I told him our founding principles assumed we'd have something left to protect. If everyone is converted, what exactly are we keeping secret from? It passed. 9-4. As of 20 minutes ago, all Foundation personnel are authorized to disclose our existence to civilian media and emergency services. Anyone with a phone, a radio, a connection to the outside world, they're supposed to be talking right now. Telling people what's coming, telling them how to survive. The second thing is still being debated, and I don't know how it's going to land. 052 raised the question of our facilities. The sites that are still secure, the ones 300, 400 feet underground with independent power and sealed airlocks, they're built to keep things in. But they're also built to keep people alive. Her argument was that we have the infrastructure to shelter civilians, and that sitting behind sealed doors while people on the surface die in the sunlight is not a position the Foundation can morally hold. The counter-argument is the obvious one. We're not just holding empty rooms. Introducing large numbers of civilians into active containment sites, people who have no training, no clearance, no understanding of what they're sharing space with, is a different kind of risk entirely. 059 used the phrase catastrophic breach. He didn't mean the sun. We tabled it, which means we'll come back to it in the morning, and by morning the East Coast will already be gone. I don't know how I feel about that. I know how I think about it professionally. I'm less sure about the other thing. East Coast sunrise is in about 3.5 hours. I'm in Site 1, 300 feet underground. I should be safe, but I keep thinking about the people up there who won't be. The ones who walk outside tomorrow morning because they didn't hear the warning, or didn't believe it, or just forgot. All those people turning their faces toward the sun. We spent 100 years protecting the world from things it couldn't understand. Now there's something it needs to understand, and we've got 4 hours to explain it. That's not enough time, but it's what we've got. 0511 signing off. God help whoever's still listening when the sun comes up.
It's 4:43 a.m. Eastern Time. Sunrise on the East Coast is in approximately 2 hours. We've been on the air continuously for 6 hours, and in that time the situation has continued to move in one direction. France, Germany, and Poland have each declared national states of emergency in the last hour. The reports coming out of Europe are starting to match what we heard from Asia. Japan has been under sunlight for over 12 hours now. We're no longer receiving human transmissions from most of its urban centers. What's reaching us are automated systems. Security cameras still uploading, emergency beacons cycling, server pings with no one left to answer them. The last confirmed voice transmission from the Tokyo area came through approximately 3 hours ago. We're going to play part of it now. The speaker is an unidentified individual broadcasting from the Shibuya district. I want to be clear about what you're going to hear. We don't have context for it. We don't have a way to verify what this person was seeing. We're playing it because it's consistent with other transmissions from the region.
They aren't separate anymore. Do you understand what I'm telling you? The people who are outside, they touched each other and they didn't come apart. Their bodies, it flows together like water mixing with water. There's no boundary between them now. They become one thing, and the thing is still growing. It fills the street outside. It's the size of a city block. There are faces in it, hundreds of faces. They rise to the surface and then sink back down, and they're singing. They're all singing the same thing, and I don't recognize the melody, but I can't get it out of my head.
That transmission ended there. We weren't able to re-establish contact. Jeff Jeffries left Washington about 90 minutes ago. Jeff, where are you right now?
Connie, I'm on I-70 heading west and I'm barely moving. The highway is backed up as far as I can see in both directions. Cars are just stopped. Some people have gotten out and they're standing on the median. I don't know what they're planning to do. I watched a woman pull her suitcase out of her trunk 10 minutes ago. Nobody's going anywhere fast. I've been thinking about the math on this and it doesn't work. The sun moves faster than any car on this highway. You can't drive out of a sunrise. But I think people know that and they just needed to do something. I needed to do something. Sitting in that parking lot outside state wasn't something I could keep doing.
Jeff, stay on the line. Dr. Wando is a virologist who has been working through the reports since the first hour. Dr. Wando, we just played that recording. What are we looking at?
I've been going through camera footage and radio transmissions for the past 4 hours, and I still don't have a framework for what I'm seeing. What that person described, bodies losing individual form on contact, tissue merging into a collective mass that keeps growing. I'd have said it was impossible this morning. I can't say that anymore. The footage I'm looking at from Tokyo, Jakarta, and Sydney all shows the same thing happening at sunrise.
He said they were singing. Does that mean anything to you medically?
Multiple transmissions mention vocalizations. Singing, calling out, speaking. My first instinct was to call it a trauma response from the observers, something the mind produces under extreme stress. But it's showing up in too many independent accounts from people who had no contact with each other. I don't have an explanation for it. I'm not going to offer one I can't support.
There are reports of these formations moving toward buildings where people are sheltering. What are we seeing in the footage?
The camera footage does show them moving towards structures. Whether that's intentional in any way I'd recognize, I can't say. What I can say is that they're not stationary. They accumulate, they move, and the mass that's visible at the end of the footage in Tokyo is significantly larger than what appears in the early morning frames. That's all I'm willing to say from what I'm looking at.
Is there anything that can stop them?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. The footage doesn't show me anything being tried that works. What it shows is the mass continuing regardless of what's happening around it. I can speculate, but I won't. Not on air. Not with 2 hours until sunrise.
Dr. Wando, thank you. Jeff, I'm coming back to you. What's the situation on the highway right now?
Connie, I've moved maybe half a mile in the last 40 minutes. There's a tractor trailer jackknifed about a quarter mile ahead of me. I can see the lights. Cars are trying to pull onto the shoulder and there's nowhere to go. I think most of these people got on the road the same time I did and none of us thought it through. Connie, I can see the sky getting lighter behind me. Just barely. That pale gray before the color comes. I don't know how long I have before I need to stop moving and find something. I can't keep sitting in a car on an open highway when the sun comes up.
Jeff, get off the highway. Find a building. Get underground if you can. Don't stay in that car.
Working on it. I'll check back in when I'm somewhere.
We're continuing live coverage. If you're watching this right now, sunrise on the East Coast is in under 2 hours. If there is someone in your house who is still asleep, wake them up. Wake them up right now and get them into an interior room away from windows. If you're outside, get inside. If you're in a car, get off the road and find a building. We don't fully understand what's coming, but every hour of reporting tonight is pointing at the same thing. Stay out of the light.
Attention. This is an official emergency alert from the Federal Emergency Broadcast Authority. This alert applies to all 50 states, all United States territories, and all federally administered zones. The time is 5:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sunrise on the eastern seaboard will occur in approximately 1 hour. All recipients are directed to receive this message in full. A photonic hazard advisory has been issued for all areas under direct or reflected solar illumination. This advisory covers all daylight hours and all nighttime periods during which the moon is above the horizon. The nature of the hazard is classified as an anomalous radiant exposure event. Exposure results in immediate and irreversible biological restructuring. There is no treatment. There is no recovery. All civilians are directed to shelter in place immediately. Shelter must be located in an interior room, with no direct or indirect exposure to outside light sources. The following materials are not sufficient as light barriers: glass of any type, window coverings, translucent plastics, and standard construction drywall. Approved shelter locations include basements, interior closets, underground parking structures, and rooms with no exterior walls. All gaps, cracks, and openings that may permit light infiltration must be sealed using opaque materials, such as aluminum foil, plastic sheeting, duct tape, or packed fabric. Any amount of visible light exposure is sufficient to initiate the hazard effect. There is no safe threshold. Partial protection is not protection. Civilians must not open exterior doors or windows under any circumstances. Civilians must not respond to voices, sounds, or communications originating from outside the shelter. Affected individuals may use familiar voices to request entry. Do not respond. Do not open doors. The voice you hear is not the person you knew. If you are currently outdoors or in an unsecured location, you have less than 1 hour to reach approved shelter. Do not delay. Do not stop to assist others who cannot reach shelter in time. Prioritize your own survival. Once sunrise occurs, outdoor movement will no longer be possible. This advisory will remain in effect indefinitely. Updates will be issued as new information becomes available. Repeat, sunrise on the eastern seaboard will occur in approximately 1 hour. Shelter immediately. Seal all light sources. Do not open doors. Do not respond to voices from outside. This has been an official alert from the Federal Emergency Broadcast Authority.
It's 6:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Sunrise on the East Coast is in 30 minutes. I'm speaking to you from our Los Angeles bureau, where sunrise is still 3 hours and 20 minutes away. We've been on the air continuously for 8 hours. I'm going to stay with you until I can't stay with you anymore. That's the only promise I have left to make. Here's where things stand. Japan is now 14 hours into daylight. We haven't received a verified human transmission from the Japanese mainland in the past 3 hours. Automated systems are still active, power grids, server farms, traffic signals, machines running with no one left to answer them. Europe is 7 hours into daylight and the picture is the same. We've lost contact with most transmitting stations across the continent. We're going to try to reach some affiliate stations that are still operating. We have a connection to our East Coast affiliate in Charlotte, WCNC. This is the network. John, are you there?
We're here, Connie. This is John Wood at WCNC Charlotte. We've been monitoring your feed all night. Most of our staff left around 3 a.m., went home to their families. I've got 2 people here with me now. We sealed the interior control room about an hour ago. No windows, concrete walls, equipment on every surface. We're as ready as we're going to be.
John, what's it look like out there right now?
The last camera feed we had up showed the highway completely locked. Cars sitting still, headlights on, nobody moving. People drove towards something and ran out of somewhere to go. The streets closer to downtown are empty in a different way. Like the city already knows what's coming and decided to go quiet early.
Are you confident the room will hold?
Confident is a strong word. We've done what we can. What I can't stop thinking about, Connie, is everyone who went to bed before any of this broke. They turned their phones off, pulled the blinds, went to sleep like any other night. Sunrise in Charlotte is in about 24 minutes. Some of those people are going to wake up to an alarm, walk to the kitchen, open the back door to let the dog out. They won't know. There's nothing we can do about that now, and I can't stop thinking about it.
John, stay where you are. Don't open those doors.
We're with you.
We're going to try London now. We have a connection to a basement shelter in Southwark, where a crew has been operating through the night. Charles, are you there?
We're here. It's just after 11 in the morning here. We've been in this basement for about 5 hours now. No windows. Old building, thick stone walls, 2 floors below street level. We've got a traffic camera feed that's still running from a mount on Waterloo Bridge. We've been watching it since sunrise. The bridge was empty when the sun first came up. Then a few people appeared, maybe crossing on foot, and within a few minutes they weren't walking anymore. By 7 a.m. there was something on the bridge that wasn't there before. It's hard to describe on camera at that distance. It fills the width of the lane. It moves toward the south bank very slowly, and it's still moving. We pulled up 6 other feeds this morning. Every one of them shows the same thing in a different location. The South Bank, Victoria Embankment, the road outside St. Paul's, Nines. What's on those streets doesn't look like anything I can put a name to. There's sound on 2 of the feeds. I can hear them singing. All of them, the same melody.
Charles, stay down. Don't come up for anything. Jeff Jeffries has been driving west since 3 a.m. and took shelter in a subway tunnel in Maryland. Jeff, are you still with us?
I'm here, Connie. I'm in a station on the old Baltimore Metro line. Power's been out since I got here, so it's completely dark. I've got my phone. I'm keeping the screen as dim as it'll go to save the battery.
Are you alone down there?
Yeah. I passed a few people on the platform when I came in, but I went further down the tunnel to get away from the entrance. There's nobody else this deep. I don't mind the quiet. I mind not knowing what's happening at the surface. The thing I keep coming back to is what John said. The people who don't know. Sunrise is in, 25 minutes? There are people in this city who slept through all of it, and they're going to wake up and make coffee and turn on the news, and they're going to be behind by 8 hours.
Stay on the line, Jeff. Dr. Harding has been with us through the night from an undisclosed location. He's been careful about what he's shared. Dr. Harding, we're 24 minutes from sunrise on the East Coast. Is there anything you've been holding back?
I've been sitting here thinking about what still matters to keep quiet. Classification levels, operational security, what's permitted to say on air. I've watched the organizations that wrote those rules go dark one by one tonight. So yes, there are things I've been holding back, and I'm going to stop holding them. I was a researcher with an organization called the SCP Foundation. Most people have never heard of it, and that was intentional. The Foundation exists to locate, contain, and study things that don't behave the way the world is supposed to behave. Anomalous objects, entities, locations, things that break physics, things that shouldn't be alive and are, things with capabilities that have no scientific explanation. I spent 11 years working inside it. I don't know why the sun changed. I want to be clear about that. Nobody I've been able to reach knows.
Why are you telling us this now?
Because the Foundation has facilities, containment sites, numbered and distributed globally, most of them built deep underground. When I say deep, I mean hundreds of feet below the surface, behind multiple layers of sealed infrastructure, with independent power and air systems. They were built to hold things in, but they're also built to keep people alive. The structures exist. Some of them are still operational as far as I know.
You're saying people should try to reach them.
If you're near one, yes. I want to be honest about what that means. These sites contain things I'm not going to describe on air. Things that have been locked away for decades because letting them loose would cause the kind of harm we've spent a century trying to prevent. You'd be going underground with them. But the sites are sealed, the containment is designed to hold, and several 100 feet of rock between you and the sun may be the only reliable protection available right now. I don't say that lightly. I say it because I can't think of an alternative.
Is there any reason to believe this will stop?
The sun has been functioning the same way for 4.5 billion years. Whatever changed, it changed in the light itself, in how it interacts with organic tissue. There's no timer on this. There's no reason I can give you to believe it reverses. I wish I had something better than that.
Dr. Harding, thank you. We're receiving a transmission that came through about 4 minutes ago. It appears to be a lone individual broadcasting from a shelter somewhere in rural France. She found an old emergency radio. I want to warn you, what she describes contains new information about how exposure works. Please listen carefully.
I don't know if anyone can hear this. I found this radio in an old civil defense shelter in the hillside. I'm alone. I've been alone since yesterday morning. I want to say one thing, and I want whoever hears it to pass it along. It's not only the sunlight. Sealed rooms aren't enough on their own. I had access to a security feed from a hospital in Lyon before I lost the signal. The building was sealed. People inside, doors locked, no windows open. The feed showed the mass moving through the street outside, and then it just stopped at the base of the building. I thought they were safe. Then the feed from the basement came up and the mass was already in there. Coming through the pipes. Drainage pipes, water lines, it doesn't matter. Anywhere water moves, that thing moves. Seal your pipes if you can. Whatever you can stuff into a drain, stuff it. Get as deep as possible, and get away from anything that connects to the outside. I don't know if it helps. I know it's the only thing I haven't seen fail yet.
The transmission ended there. We weren't able to raise her again. We are 20 minutes from sunrise on the East Coast. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I've covered wars and disasters and things I thought were the worst possible. I always knew what to say because there was always something that could be done. Call this number. Go here. Help is coming. I don't have any of that for you right now. I'm sorry. All I can tell you is stay in the dark. Stay away from windows. Get underground if there's any way to do it. And if there's someone in your home who's still asleep, wake them up right now. Don't let them walk out into the morning without knowing. Jeff, you still with me?
I'm here. Still dark down here. Still quiet.
Stay down there. Stay safe. Don't come up.
Not planning on it. You stay safe too, Connie.
We are 18 minutes from sunrise on the East Coast. I'm Connie Porter. I'll be here. We're going now to an address from the presidents, speaking from an undisclosed secure location. This is the first official statement from the Office of the President since the emergency began 8 hours ago. We carry it in full.
My fellow Americans, and I'm told we're also broadcasting internationally, so hello to everyone out there. Tremendous audience, really just a massive historic audience. Probably the biggest audience for anything ever, and I don't say that lightly. I'm here to speak to you directly. No spin, no fake news, just me talking to you like I've always done. Now, I've seen the numbers. I've seen all the numbers. Nobody has seen more numbers than me in the last 8 hours, believe me. And the numbers aren't good. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of my advisors said, don't tell them the numbers, sir, it's too much. And I said, no, these are my people. They're strong. They can handle it. You're so strong. You don't even know how strong you are. A lot of people have been affected. A lot. More than anyone wanted. More than anyone thought possible. Asia, Europe, very bad. Very, very bad. The sun came up over there first, as it does, and the people weren't ready. We had a few more hours. We used those hours. We're smarter, we're tougher. That's just how it is. Now, you've all seen movies, and some of them, I'll tell you, were not good. The War of the Worlds remake, they put Ice Cube in it, don't ask me. Battlefield Earth, John Travolta, fantastic actor, by the way, but what was that? I still don't know what that was. Really, if you want to watch a good Travolta film, watch Pulp Fiction or Face Off. Those are great. The Last Airbender, M. Night Shyamalan, fantastic series, incredible series. The movie, though, I mean, not great, but I'll tell you, we could really use an Earthbender right now. That's all I'm saying. But here's the thing about all those movies. When something big happens, there's always that one guy who goes outside anyway. The government says, don't go outside. There's always that one guy. Don't be that guy. You're watching this. You're smart. You're not that guy. Now here's what you need to understand about what's out there. The people who got hit by the sunlight, they're not gone. That's the part that sounds crazy. I know how it sounds. But it's true. They're still out there and they want you to come join them, and they're going to be very convincing about it. They're going to use voices you recognize. They're going to say things only people you love would know. It's not them, I'm telling you right now, as your president, it is not them. The best scientists, the top people, they're all saying the same thing. Do not go outside. The federal government is responding. I want to be very clear about that. We've got resources, great resources, the best resources in the world, actually. Subterranean facilities, deep water platforms, locations I can't disclose, but believe me, they're beautiful. State of the art. Our scientists are working around the clock. Our military is working. Nobody has stopped working. Nobody. What I need from you, and this is where I'm going to be very serious, very presidential. You know I can be presidential when I want to be. I need you to stay sealed. Interior room, no windows. No light from outside. Stay there. Don't open the door for anyone, no matter what they say. No matter whose voice you think you hear. They're gonna sound like people you know. They're gonna sound like people you love. Many people are reporting this. It's very disturbing, frankly. They'll say your name. They'll say, come outside. It's beautiful out here. We miss you. Don't listen. It's a trick. It's the greatest trick anyone has ever seen, and you're not going to fall for it because you're too smart. I know some of you have people out there. I know that I have people out there too. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. This is the hardest thing any of us has ever done. Harder than anything. But staying is survival. Staying is resistance. Staying is, I'm gonna say it, staying is the most patriotic thing you can do right now. More patriotic than anything. The sun is coming up on the East Coast right now. If you're watching this from California, Oregon, Washington, you've got about 3 hours. Use them. Find a basement, find a closet, find somewhere with no light and stay there. 3 hours, that's a lot of time. That's tremendous time if you use it right. We're gonna find a way through this. I fully believe that. I believe it the way I believe everything. Completely, 100%, no doubt in my mind. This nation has faced impossible things before. The Revolution, the Civil War, the Depression, World War II. Very tough times. We're still here. You're still here. That matters. That matters so much. God bless you. God bless the people still out there in whatever way they can still be blessed. And God bless these United States of America. Stay in the dark, please. I don't say please very often. You know that about me. Please.
That was the president addressing the nation from a secure location. Key directives from that address: remain sealed in interior locations with no light exposure, don't open doors regardless of what's heard outside, and don't attempt travel. West Coast residents have 3 hours before sunrise reaches them. We'll continue live coverage.
Dr. Mark Vance, personal log. Site 17, 0630 hours Eastern. If you're hearing this, the archive is still running. That's something. We've made a decision tonight that I want on record. About 40 minutes ago, Site Director Okafor authorized opening the lower levels of Site 17 to civilian survivors, not Foundation personnel. Civilians. People who've been knocking on the perimeter fence since around midnight. We counted 63 when the decision came through. More have arrived since. The facility can sustain roughly 500 people for approximately 6 months if we're careful with rationing. Power, water, air filtration, food stores. That's the math. 6 months of survival capacity for 500 people, deep enough underground that the sun can't reach us. On paper, it's the right call. I want to explain why I'm not sure it is. Site 17 is not an empty bunker. It is an active containment facility. The things we hold here, I'm not going to describe them. Not because I'm still following classification rules, but because describing them wouldn't help anyone, and it would terrify people who have already been through enough tonight. What I can say is that they are here. They are contained. And they have been contained reliably for a very long time. Containment relies on trained personnel following procedures they've practiced for years. We're about to introduce 500 civilians who don't know what's down here, don't know where they can and can't go, don't know what a containment door looks like or why it matters that you never open one. We're going to brief them. We're going to post people at every critical point. I've been doing this long enough to know that briefings and posted guards are not the same thing as containment. Director Okafor asked me directly if I had an alternative. I didn't. That's the honest answer. I stood there, and I ran through every other option, and there wasn't one that didn't end with those people dying in the parking lot when the sun came up. So I said I didn't have an alternative. And she said, then we open the doors. And I agreed with her. I still agree with her. That's what makes this hard. 6 months of food and water and clean air. 300 feet below a sun that's killing everything on the surface. That's what we're offering these people. That's genuinely something. But if containment fails on any of the things we're holding down here, none of the rest of it matters. 6 months of survival becomes something else entirely. I don't have a way around that calculation. I've been trying to find one since midnight. Sunrise on the East Coast in about 15 minutes. The first group is already moving through intake. They look exhausted and frightened and grateful, and I can't tell any of them what they're grateful to be standing next to. Dr. Mark Vance, signing off. We did the right thing. I'm going to keep telling myself that.
It's 6:42 a.m. Eastern Time. Sunrise on the East Coast is in 3 minutes. We've been on the air for nearly 9 hours. I'm broadcasting from our Los Angeles bureau, where we have 3 hours and 20 minutes before the sun reaches us here. I want every person watching on the West Coast to use that time. I'm watching a traffic camera feed right now from a residential street in Richmond, Virginia. The street looks quiet, and then I see it, a man in a jacket walking his dog along the sidewalk. Normal morning pace. He hasn't looked at a screen. He doesn't know. The dog is sniffing at something in the grass, and the man is just waiting for him. The sun is going to come up in about 2 minutes on that street. Dr. Harding has been with us through the night from an undisclosed location. Dr. Harding, we're seconds away from East Coast sunrise. Is there anything else people still outside need to hear right now?
Get inside and get away from windows. If you're in a sealed space with no windows, you should be protected from direct exposure. The danger is the gaps you haven't thought about. Light doesn't need much. A crack under a door, a gap in a window seal, a skylight. If you can see daylight coming through anything, move away from it right now.
I'm getting reports from affiliates along the coast. Norfolk says the sky is brightening rapidly. Charleston reports color on the horizon. Annie Hayworth has been covering this from Miami through the night. Annie, can you hear us?
I'm here, Connie. I'm in a parking structure on Brickell Avenue. 3rd level down, no windows, concrete on all sides. I've been watching traffic camera feeds on my laptop since I came in. The sun just cleared the water. It looks completely normal out there. That's the part one can't get past. It looks exactly the way it's always looked.
What are the streets showing on those feeds?
Mostly empty. The shelter order kept a lot of people inside. There are a few people visible on the Brickell camera who were clearly outside when the light hit. They're not moving now. The mass on that feed is still small, maybe half a block. It's moving south along the waterfront. Slowly, but it's moving.
Annie, stay put and stay off that ramp. Dr. Harding, something I haven't heard discussed tonight is what happens to the food supply. If no one can go outside, if farms can't be worked, if trucks can't run during daylight, what does that look like in practical terms?
It's a serious problem, and it starts faster than most people realize. The global food supply chain depends entirely on outdoor labor and daylight transportation. Harvest equipment runs during the day. Trucking moves during the day. Even indoor facilities like warehouses rely on workers who have to travel to get there. If daylight exposure remains lethal, conventional agriculture stops within days. What's already in storage, what's already in warehouses and grocery back rooms is essentially what exists.
How long does that last?
Weeks for some things, days for others. Fresh produce, dairy, meat, those are gone first. Canned and dry goods last longer if you're careful with rationing. Anyone sheltering right now should take stock of what they have and start treating it as a finite resource. Night operations may be possible, but that depends on how reliable moonlight turns out to be as a threat. Right now, I wouldn't count on nighttime movement being safe either.
Doctor, we had a report earlier from a survivor in France who described the mass itself appearing to emit light. Have you been able to verify anything about that?
I've been on the phone with 2 colleagues who are still safe, one in New Zealand and one in a facility in northern Canada. Both of them have seen camera footage from affected areas showing what appears to be the mass producing its own glow. The working theory is that the converted tissue retains whatever property the sunlight activated, and that proximity to it at close range can cause conversion even without direct sunlight. We don't know the effective range yet. What I can tell you is that both of my colleagues are treating any proximity to the mass as a threat, regardless of whether there's sunlight present.
So staying underground isn't enough on its own if the mass reaches your location.
Distance from the mass matters as much as distance from the sun. The deeper you are, the more difficult it is for the mass to reach you physically. But if it does reach you, don't approach it, don't let it touch you, and stay away from anything glowing. Seal your drains if you can. That's the guidance I have right now.
Annie, one more check from Miami.
Still here. The Brickell camera is still running. The mass has moved another block south in the last 15 minutes. It's larger than it was. The singing is audible on the camera audio now. I can hear it through my laptop speakers from 3 levels underground. It carries...
Annie, keep your head down. Stay where you are. It's 7:03 a.m. Eastern. The sun has been up on the East Coast for 16 minutes. Most of our affiliate stations on the Eastern Seaboard have gone quiet in the last 10 minutes. We attempted to reach Jeff Jeffries in the Baltimore subway system, and we've lost his signal. We don't know his status. Dr. Harding, the pattern we've watched move across Asia and Europe is now moving across this country. Walk me through what the next few hours look like.
The sunrise line moves west at roughly 1,000 miles per hour as the Earth rotates. The Midwest, Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, they're looking at sunrise in about an hour. Denver and the Mountain States, 90 minutes after that. The Pacific Coast, Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles will see sunrise in just under 3 hours from now. Everywhere the sun touches, the pattern repeats. By this afternoon, most of the continental United States will be in the same condition as Europe and Asia.
What should people in those remaining hours be doing right now?
Find the deepest sealed space you can reach and get there now. Take water. Take whatever canned or dry food you have. Seal every gap, every drain, every opening that connects to the outside. And don't wait until you can see the sun. Use the time you have.
If you're watching from California, Oregon, Washington, or anywhere west of the Rockies, you have less than 3 hours before the sun reaches you. The Midwest has about an hour. The sun is moving across this country right now, and it isn't stopping. I don't know how much longer we can broadcast from here. I'm going to stay on the air as long as I can. Use the time. Please.
This is Roger Thornhill, and I'm still here. I've been broadcasting for 9 straight hours, and I'm not stopping now, because everything I told you last night is happening. Everything I warned you about is unfolding in real time on every news channel that's still broadcasting. You think this is natural? You think the sun just decided to wake up one morning and start melting people? Wake up. This is the Great Reset. This is what they've been planning for decades. Depopulation on a scale they couldn't achieve with wars, with viruses, with economic collapse. So they went straight to the source. They weaponized the sun, the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, the people who've been talking about sustainable population levels for 30 years. You know what they consider sustainable? 500 million. 500 million people on a planet of 8 billion. That's a reduction of 94%. You think they're going to ask nicely? You think they're going to give you a choice? I've got the documents. I've been showing them to you for years. The Georgia Guidestones, the UN Agenda 21, the World Economic Forum's own papers about rebuilding civilization after a catastrophic event. They told us what they were going to do. They published it. They held conferences about it. And everyone called me crazy. The East Coast just had its first sunrise since this started. An hour ago. 1 hour. And the reports coming in. Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, D.C. All of them reporting masses in the streets. All of them reporting the singing. All of them going dark one by one as the broadcasters either convert or flee underground. And where are the elites? Where are the politicians? Where are the billionaires? They're underground. They're in their continuity bunkers that they built with your tax dollars. Cheyenne Mountain, Raven Rock, Mount Weather, private facilities we don't even have names for. They knew this was coming. They planned for this. And they left you on the surface to burn. The West Coast, you've got maybe 2 hours. Maybe less. I don't know what time zone you're in, but if the sun hasn't risen where you are, you need to get underground right now. Not in 10 minutes. Not after you pack a bag. Right now. Find the deepest place you can reach and seal yourself in. So what do? Where do you go? I've been researching this all night. Deep mines, subway systems, underground bunkers if you can find them. They wanted this. The New World Order wanted a reset, and they got one. They wanted population control, and now they've got it. They wanted a world where the survivors would be desperate enough to accept any government, any system, any control, just to stay alive. And that's exactly what's happening right now. I'm broadcasting from a basement studio with no windows. I've got generators, I've got supplies, I've got the door welded shut. I don't know how long I can stay here. I don't know how long any of us can stay anywhere. But I'm going to keep transmitting as long as I can, because the truth is the only weapon we've got left. This is Roger Thornhill, broadcasting on emergency frequency. Share this. Wake people up. I'll be here until I'm not.
It's 6:41 a.m. Pacific Time. Sunrise on the West Coast is in 5 minutes. I've been on the air for 15 hours. I don't know who's still listening. If you are, this is for you. The East Coast is gone. Not dark. Not silent in the way a city goes silent at 3 in the morning. Gone. The Midwest went the same way. Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, all of them. We stopped receiving transmissions from Denver about 40 minutes ago. The sun has been moving across this country all morning, and it hasn't slowed down. The last report we received from the eastern seaboard described the singing. Multiple transmissions, independent of each other, all describing the same thing. A sound coming from the streets, from the buildings, from everywhere the light had reached. Not threatening, not angry, singing. I've been thinking about that for hours, and I still don't know what to do with it. My crew left around 7 this morning. I don't blame them. They have families. They have people they needed to be with. I told them to go. I meant it. This job has been my family for a long time. It seemed right to stay with it. I'm in a basement studio, old building, concrete on every side. No windows down here. I think I'm safe. I've thought through every gap I could find and sealed what I could seal. I think I've done everything right. I don't know if that's enough. If you're sheltered, stay sheltered. If you haven't sealed your space yet and you still have time, do it now. Water, food, drain sealed, away from anything that connects to the outside. Don't answer voices you recognize. Don't approach anything glowing. Don't go toward the light. This is Connie Porter. I've never signed off without something to tell you next. I don't have anything. Just this. Good morning, and good luck.
N7BKN, calling any station on this frequency. I've been monitoring channels since midnight. If anyone is out there, please respond.
KD7DFR. I read you. Where are you transmitting from?
I'm inside. 300 feet down. Foundation facility, East Coast. We sealed the upper levels around sunrise.
You're in one of those foundation places we've been hearing about. Are you safe?
As safe as we can be. The light doesn't reach us this far down. We have power, water, food stores for maybe 6 months if we're careful. But there are complications.
What kind of complications?
This isn't a bunker. It's a holding facility. We keep things here, things that were dangerous before the sun changed. We opened the lower levels to civilians last night. 500 people who don't know what's down here with them.
What do you mean, things? What is this foundation holding?
I can't describe them. I'm not supposed to. What I can tell you is that containment relies on procedures, and procedures rely on trained personnel following them without deviation. We've got civilians wandering corridors they don't understand, opening doors they shouldn't touch. Security is running triple shifts trying to keep people away from the lower sections.
So you're telling me you saved 500 people from the sun, but there's something else down there that could kill them just as easily.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Where are you transmitting from?
Ohio. Private bunker. I built it myself about 3 years ago. Stocked it for 12 months. Never thought I'd actually need to use it. And I definitely didn't think it would be because of the sun.
How deep?
20 feet. Concrete and steel. I sealed the hatch around 0600 hours. I've been down here about 12 hours now. The broadcast started going strange around midnight. And by 4 a.m., I knew I wasn't coming back up.
Have you heard them? The ones outside?
The singing. Yeah. It started about an hour after sunrise. I've got a surveillance camera topside. They're up there. I can hear them moving around, talking, singing that same melody over and over. It doesn't sound angry. That's what frightens me most.
We can hear it down here, too. Through the ventilation shafts, through the sealed doors. They're outside the facility. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands. They know we're in here. They keep calling out names, trying to get people to open the doors.
How long can you hold out?
6 months of containment holds. 6 seconds if it doesn't. We're not just hiding from what's outside. We're trying to keep what's inside from breaking loose while 500 frightened people learn to live in the dark.
Have you picked up any other frequencies? Other facilities?
Fragments. Automated logs, mostly. One live transmission from somewhere west couldn't get coordinates. They were talking about organizing a response, some kind of coordinated effort. The transmission cut before I could raise them.
A response? Against what? How do you fight the sun?
You don't fight it. You wait it out. You stay dark, stay underground, and you pray that whatever made this happen can be unmade. Or you accept that the world you knew ended yesterday morning, and you figure out how to live in what's left.
Are you Foundation personnel? Or were you one of the civilians?
I'm staff. Containment engineer. I've worked here for 8 years. Never told anyone outside the organization what we did, what we kept locked up. Now I'm sharing a bunker with people who think this is just a government shelter, and I can't tell them the truth.
What would happen if you did?
Panic. People would try to leave. They'd rather take their chances with the sun than stay locked underground with the things we keep here. Can't say I'd blame them.
The whole country is in daylight now. It's been rolling west since Japan. 12 hours, maybe 13. If there's going to be a response, they're running out of people to organize it.
I know. I've been listening to the broadcast. Each one gets shorter, more fragmented. The last coherent transmission I heard was about 3 hours ago. Since then, just static and singing.
So what do? Just stay underground and wait?
We stay down. We stay dark. We keep transmitting. We document what's happening. And we look for others doing the same. If anyone's working on a solution, they'll need to know what's happening at ground level.
And if nobody's working on a solution?
Then we're the archive. With a record that it happened. And maybe someone finds it later. Someone who can do something with the information. That's all we can do right now.
KD-70FR standing by on this frequency. I'll be here tonight if you need to transmit.
N7, BKM. I'll check in when I can. Security rotation starts in 10 minutes. They need everyone on the doors tonight. The singing's getting louder.
Stay safe down there, both from what's outside and what's down there with you. FD7 PFR transmitting on open frequency. It's about 9:30 in the evening, Eastern Time. The sun went down about 2 hours ago. I made it through the first day. I don't know who's listening. I don't know if anyone's listening. But I've been talking into this microphone since last night, and I don't think I can stop now. If I stop talking, I'll have to start listening, and I don't want to do that. The singing is louder now that it's dark. During the day, it was there, but it was distant, like something you could almost ignore if you tried hard enough. Now it's everywhere. It's coming through the walls, through the floor, through the pipes. I stuffed towels into every gap I could find, and I can still hear it. Terry's been at the wall for 14 hours now. My neighbor. He was outside when the sun came up this morning. I watched through my home security camera. He was standing in his backyard looking up at the sky, and then he wasn't standing anymore. He was flowing. That's the only word for it. He was flowing toward the house next to mine, and then he was part of something else. I'm in a basement. I'm not deep. I'm maybe 8 feet underground with a concrete ceiling and some drywall. If they decide to come through the wall, I don't know if I can stop them. I don't know if anyone can stop them. But here's the thing. The thing I've been trying to understand all day. It's a new moon tonight. The weatherman in the morning news yesterday mentioned it. New moon tonight, clear skies, great for stargazing. I remember thinking that sounded nice. I was going to take a walk after dinner. But the moon comes back. In a few days, there'll be a crescent. In a week, there'll be a quarter moon. In 2 weeks, there'll be a full moon, and the night won't be dark anymore. The night will be just as dangerous as the day. The scientist on the broadcast talked about that, too. He said we have days, not months. He said the moon would make the night just as lethal as the day once it started reflecting enough light. He said he didn't know exactly how much moonlight it takes, but he guessed a quarter moon would be enough. Maybe less. So we've got about a week of safe nights. After that, the darkness isn't protection anymore. After that, you need to be underground all the time. Sealed forever. I don't have forever. I've got maybe 2 weeks of food if I'm careful. I've got water from the tap as long as the pressure holds. I've got a radio and a generator with half a tank of gas. That's what I've got. I'm in a suburban basement in Virginia with 8 feet of dirt between me and the sun. I'm not in a good position. I know that. I've known it all day. Terry just said my name again. He said, Dustin, I know you're in there. He said, Dustin, you don't have to be alone anymore. He said it doesn't hurt. He said it feels like finally being understood. I've been alone most of my life. I don't say that for sympathy. It's just a fact. I've got the radio, but I've always been comfortable being by myself. I never minded the quiet, but this is different. This isn't quiet. This is the absence of everyone else in the world. And the only company I've got is a voice on the other side of a wall that used to be my neighbor, and now it's something that wants me to come outside and join it. The broadcast talked about how they think they're helping. That's the part that gets me. They're not predators hunting prey. They're not monsters trying to destroy us. They genuinely believe they've found something beautiful and they want to share it. They think we're the ones suffering, trapped in these fragile bodies that die and feel pain and get old. Maybe they're right. I've been thinking about that all day. Maybe this is evolution. Maybe this is what we were supposed to become all along, and the sun just finally showed us the way. Maybe fighting, it's like a caterpillar refusing to become a butterfly. But I'm not ready to find out. Not yet. Not tonight. None of it makes sense. All of it makes exactly as much sense as a sun that turns people into singing masses of flesh. We're past the point where anything has to make sense. I'm going to try to sleep tonight. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. Tomorrow I need to figure out a plan. I need to find somewhere deeper. A tunnel, a basement with better seals, something. I can't stay here forever. FD7 PFR signing off for the night. I'll be back on this frequency tomorrow morning, assuming there's a tomorrow morning. If anyone's out there, keep transmitting. The voices on the radio are the only thing that makes this feel real. Stay in the dark. Stay sealed. And don't answer the voices you recognize. They're not who they used to be. None of us are who we used to be. FD7 PFR clear.
This isn't an official log. I don't even know if anyone will ever read this. I just need to write it down because if I don't say it out loud, I think I'm going to lose my mind. This is Dr. Logan Igotta, Site 46, Day 3. Ari's been at the airlock for 48 hours now. My Ari. My wife. She was exposed during a supply run on Day 1. I watched it happen through the security feed. She was running back to the entrance, and the light caught her, and she didn't scream. She smiled, and then she wasn't Ari anymore. Except she is. That's the thing I can't get past. Whatever's out there, it's got Ari's voice, it's got Ari's memories. It remembers our wedding. It remembers the song we danced to. It remembers the argument we had last Tuesday about whose turn it was to feed the cat. It knows things only Ari would know. She's been talking to me through the airlock, non-stop. 48 hours of Ari's voice telling me how much she misses me, telling me it doesn't hurt, telling me she's never felt so peaceful, so complete, so understood, telling me she wants to share it with me because she loves me and she can't bear the thought of me being alone in the dark. The worst part is I believe her, not the thing outside. Ari, I believe that somewhere in that mass, Ari genuinely thinks she's helping. She genuinely wants me to join her because in whatever passes for her mind now, being separate is suffering and being together is joy. She's not lying. She's not hunting me. She's trying to save me. I've been reading through some of the older files. The occult division. Things we shelved because they didn't fit our scientific framework. Rituals, summonings, methods for communicating with consciousness that's been separated from its body. I know it's crazy. I know it won't work. But I keep thinking, what if there's a way to reach her? Not the mass. Ari. The part of her that's still in there. There's a ritual in file 2718. Soul extraction. Requires blood, salt, a mirror, and something belonging to the target. I've got Ari's wedding ring. She left it on the nightstand before the supply run because she didn't want to lose it. I've been holding it for 3 days. I tried it last night. I don't know what I expected. The mirror? Something moved in the mirror. A hand reaching toward me. It looked like Ari's hand. But when it touched the glass, it didn't feel like Ari. It felt like the sun. I broke the mirror before it came through. I think I understand now. The souls aren't trapped in the mass. They're part of it. Willingly. Whatever the sun did to them, it didn't just change their bodies. It changed what they want. Ari's not a prisoner begging to be rescued. She's a convert trying to bring me into the fold. I don't know how much longer I can listen to her voice. I don't know how much longer I can sit in this room knowing she's right outside. I don't know how much longer I want to. Maybe that's the real containment breach. Not the walls. The will to keep them closed. If anyone finds this recording, I loved her. I still love her. And I think that's why I'm going to lose. Dr. Logan Igotta, Site 46, Day 3. Probably my last entry.
This is Dr. Harding. I don't know what to put after that anymore. The institution I worked for doesn't exist in any meaningful sense. The title means something different when there's no one left to confer it. But I'm recording this anyway, because I think the act of recording things for someone who might hear them later is one of the oldest human gestures there is. It means you believe there will be a later. I'm choosing to believe that. It's been 48 hours. I've been underground for most of them. I have power, I have water, I have enough food to think clearly for a while longer. What I have most of is time. Time and quiet and the particular kind of clarity that comes when the world stops making noise around you. I want to use some of that clarity before it goes. I've spent most of my adult life studying things that don't behave the way science says they should. That work required a particular kind of intellectual humility, which is to say the willingness to look at something you can't explain and say so out loud instead of inventing an explanation to fill the gap. Most people find that kind of admission uncomfortable. Scientists especially, we're trained to produce answers. Saying I don't know feels like failure, but I've come to believe that I don't know, said clearly and without apology, is one of the most honest sentences a person can produce. The world we've just lost was built by people who couldn't say it often enough. We built civilization on a set of assumptions so old and so reliable that we stopped treating them as assumptions at all. The sun will rise. It will warm the ground. Things will grow. Those statements were true for as long as any record we have exists. They formed the floor under everything else we built. Agriculture, time itself, the basic structure of a human day. What happened 48 hours ago wasn't the floor giving way. It was the discovery that the floor was never as permanent as we thought. It was just that nothing had tested it before. I've been thinking about the singing. I've been trying not to, and I keep coming back to it. The accounts I heard from people who sheltered near the masses described something that didn't fit the category of threat. It wasn't aggression. It wasn't hunger. It sounded, by all accounts, like contentment. That is the thing I find most difficult to think about clearly. Not the conversion itself, the contentment, the possibility that whatever they became, they didn't experience it as a loss. There's a philosophical problem that's been around for centuries called the question of other minds. The short version is this. I can only ever directly experience my own consciousness. I infer that other people are conscious based on their behavior and their similarity to me. But I can't know it. The converted masses behave as though they're conscious. They communicate. They remember. They act with what looks like purpose. By every behavioral measure I have, there is someone still in there. The question I can't answer, the question that keeps me up in the dark, is whether being in there is something they'd want to escape. I'm not going to resolve that question here. I don't think anyone can. What I want to say instead is something about what it means to be one of the ones who stayed separate. We're carrying something now that most of humanity isn't carrying anymore. The weight of individual consciousness. The burden of being a single point of view in a world that has mostly given that up. I don't know yet whether that makes us the survivors or the remnants. I suspect the answer depends entirely on what we do with the time we have. A man I worked with for many years used to say that the purpose of science wasn't to explain the world, but to expand the boundary of honest uncertainty. To push the line between what we know and what we don't further out, so that the unknown territory we're standing in front of is more interesting and more specific than the one we started with. I've thought about that a lot in the last 2 days. We know something now we didn't know before. We know the sun can change. We know that change can be total. We know that total change doesn't mean total death. That's a more specific unknown than we had 48 hours ago. I find that worth something. To whoever finds this, I don't know what the world looks like when you're hearing these words. I don't know if the sun is still what it became, or if something changed it back, or if there's a third thing that none of us down here in the dark have thought of yet. I hope you found a way to live in whatever came next. I hope you kept records. I hope you asked questions you couldn't answer and wrote those down too. The questions we can't answer are the most important things we have. They're proof that the world is larger than our understanding of it. That used to frighten people. It should feel like an invitation.
N7BKN broadcasting on emergency frequency. If anyone's monitoring Foundation channels, don't attempt to reach Site 17. Don't come here. The facility is lost.
We had a breach 6 hours ago. The civilian opened a door he wasn't supposed to open. We tried to stop him. We had signs, we had posted guards, but he thought he heard something on the other side. Someone calling for help. He saw it. The one in the containment cell. The tall one. You don't look at its face. That's the rule.
You didn't know the rule.
It screamed. We heard it 3 floors down. Everyone in that corridor heard it. And then it came out. We tried to seal the section. Standard protocol. But people were running. Civilians, personnel, everyone trying to get away from the screaming. Doors stayed open. People looked. You can't help it when something's chasing you. You look back. Every person who saw its face, it went after them, one by one. Fast. Faster than anything I've ever seen. We lost 40 people in the first hour. And then the other one got out. The statue. During the panic, nobody was watching it. The protocol is 3 people, constant eye contact. Nobody blinks at the same time. We didn't have 3 people. We didn't even have 1. It moves when you're not looking. That's all it needs. 1 second, it's 20 feet away.
You blink, and it's right there. Snap. That's all you hear. Snap, 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 moving through the corridors.
We tried to lock down the lower levels. We tried to evacuate to the surface. The sun's up there. The things are down here. There's nowhere to go. I'm in the communications room. 3rd sublevel. I sealed the door from the inside. I can hear them out there. The screaming stopped about an hour ago. I think I'm the only one left. This is what we were afraid of. This is exactly what Dr. Vance warned about. We opened the doors to 500 people who didn't know what we were holding. We thought we were saving them from the sun. All we did was bring them down here to die a different way.
If you're Foundation personnel monitoring this channel, mark Site 17 is compromised, full containment failure, multiple Keter class breaches. Don't send anyone. There's nothing left to save.
To anyone else listening, if you find shelter somewhere, if you find a place that says it's safe, ask them what they keep locked up. Ask them what happens if those locks fail. Because the sun isn't the only thing that'll kill you. The power's gonna fail soon. Generators are running on fumes. When the lights go out, I won't be able to see if the statue's in here with me. I won't know until...
N7BKN, this is Barry Kane transmitting from Lovelock, Nevada. 300 feet down in the old Pershing County mine. It's day 6. I think it's day 6. Hard to keep track when you can't see the sky.
I've been calling FD7PFR for 2 days now. Dustin, the fellow from Virginia. He was on every night since this started, talking about his neighbor Terry, talking about the singing outside his basement. 2 days ago, he said he was going to try to sleep. Said he'd be back on in the morning. He never came back on.
I don't know what happened to him. Could be his generator ran out. Could be his antenna failed. Could be the masses found a way in. Could be he just decided to stop talking. I understand that. Some days I think about turning off the radio and just sitting in the dark until it's over. The dogs are restless tonight. Maggie and Lou. They've been with me since the beginning. They don't understand what's happening, of course. They just know we can't go outside anymore. They keep looking up the shaft like they're waiting for something. I don't know how to explain to a dog that there's nothing left up there.
I've got about 3 weeks of food left. Dog food for them, canned goods for me. Water's no problem. There's an underground spring that feeds into the lower level. The generator's got fuel for another month if I'm careful. After that, I don't know. I try not to think too far ahead.
The Foundation frequencies are mostly static, though. I've been monitoring them since day 1. There used to be status reports, survivor counts, coordination between different sites. Now it's just automated loops. Site 19 offline. Site 46 offline. Site 17 offline. The same message repeating every hour. Nobody's updating it anymore. The moon's up tonight. I can't see it, but I can feel it. The dogs are more agitated when there's moonlight above. Quarter moon, I think. Maybe a little more. That's enough, according to what the scientists said. Enough reflected sunlight to trigger the change. The nights aren't safe anymore. I had rice for dinner. Plain white rice with a little salt. It's not much, but it's warm and it feels normal. That's what I'm holding on to. The small normal things. Feeding the dogs. Making dinner. Checking the generator. If I can keep doing the small things, maybe I can keep doing the big thing, which is staying alive. I keep thinking about the world above. The towns I used to drive through. The diners. The gas stations. The people. All of it's still there, I suppose. The buildings are still standing. But there's nobody inside them anymore. Or rather, there's everybody inside them, all merged together into something that isn't people anymore. I'm going to read out my coordinates. In case anyone's keeping a record of who's left and where. Latitude 40.49 north, longitude 118.43 west. Pershing County Mine, Nevada. Depth approximately 300 feet. That's where I am. That's where I'll stay. Anyone's listening? Dustin, if you're out there and your radio's just broken. Carver, if you catch this on delay. Anyone else I haven't heard from? I'll be on this frequency again tomorrow night. And the night after that. I don't know what else to do except keep talking. N7BKN, signing off for the night. Stay in the dark. Stay alive. And if you can, let someone know you're still out there. The silence is the hardest part.
This is an automated emergency broadcast from the Federal Emergency Management Agency in coordination with remaining Foundation assets. This is not a test. This message is being transmitted on all available frequencies. The information in this broadcast may be the last official guidance issued by federal authorities, as of 0600 hours Eastern Standard Time, Day 7. The following shelter locations have been compromised and should not be approached. FEMA Region 1, Boston Metro Tunnel System. FEMA Region 2, New York Penn Station Complex. FEMA Region 3, Washington Metro Underground. All personnel at these locations are presumed converted. Do not respond to transmissions claiming to originate from these sites. Moonlight exposures now confirmed lethal at quarter phase and above. Nighttime movement on the surface is no longer advised under any circumstances. Remain in sealed underground locations at all times. If your shelter has windows, skylights, or any openings to the surface, seal them immediately with opaque materials. Any exposure to reflected sunlight, however brief, may result in irreversible biological restructuring. The affected organisms, designated SCP-001-A, have demonstrated the ability to compromise sealed structures through the following methods: pressurized entry through gaps smaller than 2 centimeters, corrosion of metal seals through prolonged contact, exploitation of ventilation and plumbing systems. If you hear voices outside your shelter, do not respond. The voices are not human. They're using the memories of the converted to locate survivors. Current estimated survivor count is below 10,000 worldwide. Foundation command structures fragmented. Civilian government authorities no longer operational in North America, Europe, Asia, or Africa. This broadcast's being maintained by automated systems and may continue after all personnel have been converted or evacuated. A strategic initiatives under consideration by remaining Foundation leadership. Details are classified, but implementation may result in significant changes to atmospheric conditions within the next 72 hours. If you observe unusual activity in the upper atmosphere, remain in shelter. Do not assume the initiative has succeeded until official confirmation is received on this frequency. To any survivors receiving this broadcast, you're not alone. There are others in shelters across the remaining habitable zones. Maintain your position. Conserve your resources. Do not attempt surface travel. Do not open your shelter for any reason. The voice of someone you love isn't proof that they're still human. This message will repeat on a 6-hour cycle. Survive if you can. Document what you witness. Humanity may yet need a record of what happened here. This concludes the emergency broadcast. Stay in the dark. Stay sealed. And may God have mercy on whoever's left to hear this.
This is Dr. Jackson on Foundation Emergency Frequency 773. I'm transmitting from Dublin, one of the last functioning command nodes in the Survivor Network. Colonel Flusky's called this session to discuss what he's calling the Nuclear Winter Initiative. I want it on record that I'm opposed.
Noted. This is Colonel Sam Flusky, Uncity Command. We've got 14 days of data now. 14 days of watching the survivor count drop. I'm not here to argue philosophy. I'm here to present the only option we've got left.
It's not the only option. The only option is to wait, to preserve what we've got, to let people survive in the deep places until we understand what we're dealing with.
We've lost 6 more sites this week, Doctor. Site 19's a black zone. Site 46 went dark 3 days ago. The mine network in Nevada stopped transmitting yesterday. We're down to maybe 8,000 confirmed survivors across all remaining nodes. 8,000 people out of 8 billion.
And your solution is to irradiate the only refuges those 8,000 people have left?
My solution is to give them a surface they can walk on. The Nuclear Winter Initiative deployed the remaining strategic arsenals in coordinated upper atmosphere detonations. The debris cloud blocked direct sunlight for an estimated 30 to 50 years. The temperature dropped, the world get dark, but we could go outside.
You're talking about nuclear winter on purpose. You're talking about deliberately creating the conditions that would have ended civilization even before the sun changed. Crop failure, radiation poisoning, contaminated water, contaminated air. Everything we'd need to rebuild be toxic.
Society's already over, Doctor. I'm not trying to save civilization. I'm trying to save people. The deep shelters can filter air. The submarines can process seawater. We've got seed vaults and genetic archives in locations that survived the initial exchange. It won't be pretty. It won't be easy. But it's possible.
And if it doesn't work? What if the effect isn't just in the visible light? What if the masses can survive in darkness? What if blocking the sun doesn't do anything except make the planet uninhabitable for the survivors we're trying to protect?
Then we're no worse off than we are now. If the masses can persist in darkness, they'll breach the remaining shelters eventually anyway. If they can't, we've bought ourselves a future. I don't see the downside.
The downside's that you're asking me to sign off on ending the world as a Hail Mary. We don't know if this'll work. We don't know anything. We've had 14 days to study something that rewrote the rules of biology, and you want to make an irreversible decision based on guesswork.
The world already ended, Doctor. I'm not ending it. I'm trying to build a new one. In 14 days, we've gone from 8 billion people to 8,000. At this rate, we'll be down to 800 by the end of the month. 80 by the end of next month. How long do you want to wait?
I don't have an answer for that. I don't have a better plan. I just know that what you're proposing it's final. There's no taking it back.
Neither is extinction. I've got confirmation from the remaining submarine fleet. I've got authorization from what's left of the chain of command. The only thing I'm waiting for is consensus from the scientific advisors. That's you, Doctor. You're the only one left.
I can't tell you this is the right thing to do. I can't tell you it's wrong either. I don't know what the right thing is anymore. Maybe there isn't one.
Then let me make the call. You don't have to agree with it. You just have to not stop me.
I couldn't stop you even if I wanted to. You've already decided. You decided before this conversation started.
I decided 3 days ago when I watched the population counter tick below 10,000. But I wanted you to understand why. I'm not doing this because I think it's right. I'm doing it because I don't know what else to do. Maybe that's all any of us can say anymore.
Then God help us all.
He hasn't so far. Initiate the protocol. All stations, this is Uncity Command. Authorization code Daybreak Final. Begin countdown.
SCP Foundation official record. Site-0105 Command Bunker. Day 20 of the SCP-001 Solar Singularity event. 6 days post-bombardment. This 051. This will be the final entry recorded by human personnel. Current survivor count 6,847 confirmed across all remaining Foundation nodes and allied civilian shelters. Estimated total survivors including uncontacted populations approximately 8,000. Global population prior to event, 7.9 billion. Conversion rate, 99.99%. The Nuclear Winter Initiative was approved by O5 Council vote 8 days ago. Final tally 7 in favor, 2 opposed, 4 no longer responding. Coordinated strategic detonations occurred across 6 continents beginning day 8 at 1400 hours. Full atmospheric coverage was achieved within 72 hours as projected.
For the record, I voted against. Not because I thought it was wrong. I didn't know if it was wrong. I still don't. I voted against because I wanted someone on record saying we weren't sure. Someone acknowledging that we were making an irreversible decision based on incomplete information. That's all I could do.
Early reports suggest the bombardments having the intended effect. Surface light levels dropped by 83% globally. The converted organisms show decreased mobility in affected regions. We don't have data on whether this is temporary dormancy or permanent incapacitation. We may never know. Following this entry, all Foundation logging systems will transition to automated operation. Status reports will continue to be generated and broadcast on standard frequencies. Survivor counts will be updated as long as the network remains functional. But there won't be anyone writing them, just machines talking to machines. To any future reader, human or otherwise, I want to leave some information that might help. Known safe zones as of this recording: deep ocean below 200 meters, deep mines below 100 meters, sealed subterranean facilities with no light leakage. The converted organisms can't penetrate water at depth. They can penetrate most surface structures given enough time and mass. Cold appears to slow them. Industrial cryogenic equipment can temporarily immobilize small masses. We don't have enough cryogenic capacity to affect the larger collectives. Fire irritates them but doesn't stop them. Conventional weapons are useless. The nuclear bombardment didn't destroy the masses themselves, but the atmospheric debris seems to have rendered them dormant in most regions. That's what we were counting on.
To whoever finds this, we tried. For over 100 years, the SCP Foundation contained thousands of anomalies, objects that defied physics, creatures that shouldn't exist, places that broke the rules of space and time. We kept the world running. We kept people safe from things they couldn't understand. We couldn't contain the sun. This is 051. Secure. Contain. Protect. We did what we could. Now it's up to whoever's left. Good luck, and stay in the dark.
End of human record. Automated systems now active. Foundation monitoring will continue until power failure or network collapse. Estimated operational duration, 47 years. Someone may yet find this. Someone may yet remember what we were.
Webby 6 CRV. This is Carver. I don't know if anyone's still listening. I've been monitoring the command frequency for the last 3 days. I heard the whole thing. They started the bombardment 3 days ago. I watched the flashes on the horizon the first night. Hundreds of them, all along the coast. The sky turned orange, then red, then gray. It's been gray ever since. It's dark during the day now. Not completely dark, but dim. Like a permanent twilight. I can see the sun behind the clouds sometimes, but it's weak. It doesn't feel warm anymore. I don't know if that means it's working. The singing stopped. That's the thing I keep coming back to. The singing stopped about 12 hours after the bombardment. I don't know if that means they're gone, or if they're waiting, or if they've just got nothing left to say. But it's quiet now. Quieter than I've ever heard it. I surfaced yesterday for the first time since the bombardment started. The air tasted like metal and ash. I couldn't stay up for long, but I could see the coast. It's still there. The masses are still there too, I think, but they're not moving. They're just still. Dustin stopped transmitting about a week ago. I kept calling his frequency for 3 days before I gave up. Barry went silent 2 days after that. The last thing he said was something about the dogs being restless. Nothing. I don't know how many of us are left. The command frequency is still transmitting automated status reports, but I haven't heard a human voice in 4 days. Maybe there are others out there too scared to broadcast, too tired to answer. Maybe I'm the last one. I don't know. I've got enough supplies for another month, maybe 2 if I stretch it. The fish are still normal below 200 feet. The water's getting colder, which I guess means the nuclear winter's working. I've got air recyclers. I've got power. I could stay down here for a long time. I keep thinking about what the scientists said, about how they think they're helping, about how they believe they've found something beautiful and they can't understand why anyone would refuse it. I wonder if they're still in there somewhere inside those masses. I wonder if they're confused about why the light went away. I don't know what happens next. Nobody does. Maybe the bombardment killed them. Maybe it just put them to sleep. Maybe they're waiting for the sky to clear, and when it does, they'll start singing again. But for now, it's quiet, and I'm still here. I'm going to stay down here and see what happens next. That's all any of us can do now. Wait and watch and see what kind of world we've made. WB6CRV. This is Carver. If anyone's out there, I'll be on this frequency tomorrow, and the day after that, and every day after that, until there's no one left to listen, or nothing left to say. Stay in the dark. Stay alive. And if you can hear this, let me know. I'd like to know I'm not alone. WB6CRV, clear.
Personal log, Orson Kane. Day 731. Location, Reykjanes Facility, Iceland. Survivor count 23. I'm recording this for whoever finds it, or for no one. Doesn't matter which. Surface temperature this morning was minus 38 Fahrenheit. Sky's the same gray-black as it's been for the last 600 days. Ash falls lighter than last month, which means the debris clouds are starting to settle. That's not the omen we had hoped for. The Nuclear Winter Initiative bought us some time. That's all it did. The masses didn't die, they just pooled into low-lying areas where the cold's most intense. From the ridge we can see lakes of frozen wax filling every valley and basin. Spectrometer readings show they're dormant, not dead. Metabolic activity is down to about 3% of baseline. But that's not zero. We had a warm spell 2 weeks ago. Temperature spiked to plus 15 for about 6 hours when the cloud cover broke over the southern coast. The pools started moving. Not fast, just shifting, flowing downhill like melting ice. We could hear them from the inside of the bunker. Low-frequency vibrations, felt more than heard. Not the singing everyone talked about in the first days. Something else, like the planet groaning. Surface access is limited to new moon phases with full overcasts. We got about 4 days per cycle where the light levels drop below that, what we're calling the conversion threshold. That's our window. We suit up in spectral filtering gear, triple layer system with infrared vision. Outer layer blocks 380 to 740 nanofeet. Middle layer's a blackout backup in case the outer layer tears. Inner layer's standard hazmat for the radiation and particulates. For the first hour outside, you're relatively safe. Between 2 and 4 hours, the outer fabric begins to degrade, the cold and ash carving micro tears to the suit's surface. Past 4 hours, failure is guaranteed. We lost Hendrickson in the 8th month when his seal gave out just past the 5-hour mark. He was only 50 feet from the airlock. Managed 30 before he just stopped running. The Ainsri are the other problem. They emerged around the 9th month. Radiation-bred predators. Fast, vicious, wrong in the ways we still can't explain. They feed on dormant masses, but they prefer us. Packs of 3 to 7, hunting with a level of coordination no natural animals should be able to possess. And the worst part, the light doesn't change them, doesn't touch them. Either they're immune, or if they're already something else. I stopped caring which. If they find you, they'll tear you apart. We've killed 4, lost 2 people doing it. The meat's edible if you cook it long enough to break down whatever radiation's built up in the tissue. It tastes like death and regret. But we ate it anyway. Food is the constant problem. We're running hydroponic systems off geothermal power. Tomatoes, lettuce, potatoes, beans. Takes 8 weeks for a crop cycle, and we're pushing the equipment past rated capacity. The mushroom farm's producing about 40 pounds per week, oyster mushrooms mostly, growing on compressed organic waste. Sadly, it's still not enough. We fish the deep water during new moon windows. Below 650 feet, things are still normal enough. Cod, haddock, some halibut. They come up at night, and we drop lines from the coastal shelf and haul up whatever's left. That's our protein now. Everything else we scavenge, frozen supplies from abandoned facilities, if we can still reach them. Most days just digging through the dead places and hoping something useful survived the cold. The warehouse district in Keflavik is still accessible when the weather allows it. In October, we pulled 3 tons of freeze-dried rations out of there. Nearly froze doing it. Still wasn't enough. Well, we're making it work, but it's not sustainable long-term. Geothermal plants developing stress fractures. The quake from the bombardment, it damaged the containment systems. We've got maybe 5 years before we lose primary power. Backup systems will give us maybe another 2 years at that. Then, after that, we're in the dark for real. I've been monitoring the atmospheric data. Debris concentrations dropping about 2% per quarter. At the current rates, we'll see a 50% light return in 20 to 30 years. Full sunlight in maybe 40 to 50 after that. When that happens, the masses will wake up. Everything we did, everything we've done to survive, it's all just temporary. The youngest person in this facility is 43 years old. No one's having children. I mean, you can't justify it. Why bring someone into this world just to watch them die when the sun comes back? In 50 years, we'll all be dead or too old to even matter. The masses, they'll still be here. Patient and waiting. Sometimes I think about what the Foundation logs said, about how they believe they're helping, about how they reach for us with love. I wonder if they dream down there in the frozen pools. I wonder if they know we're still here. So we had a vote last week, whether to keep maintaining the long-term systems or just focus on making the time we have left comfortable. 17 voted to keep working. 6 voted to stop. I was one of those 17. I mean, it's not because I think we'll survive. Just because stopping feels like giving them permission to be right. Like admitting they're doing us a favor all along. The next surface window opens in 6 days. We're planning a run to the old NATO base at Keflavik for medical supplies and replacement filtration parts. Should take 3 hours round trip if the Ainsri don't follow us. Should take about 3 hours if the cloud cover holds. Should take 3 hours if nothing goes wrong. I'll record again after the run. And if I don't, someone else will update the log. That's the rule. Someone always updates the log. We keep counting the days, we keep recording for the temperature, we keep writing down what we ate and what we lost, and how many hours of power we got left. I honestly don't know why we bother. Maybe it's just what humans do. We document, we record, we leave marks to say that we're here. We tried, we mattered. Even when nobody's left to read them. To whoever finds this, we lasted 2 years. We grew food in the dark. We fished the deep waters. We fought things that shouldn't exist. We kept 23 people alive in a frozen bunker on a dead planet. That counts for something. It has to. The sun's still up there. behind the ash, behind the debris, behind 40 years of nuclear winter. It's still watching, still waiting. And when that sky clears, it'll remember us. It'll remember everyone. My name is Orson Kane. Requienis Facility, day 731. We're still here. I'm still here. We're still here in the dark, and we're staying that way as long as we can. End of log.
Good evening, or perhaps I should say good night. It seems more appropriate given the circumstances. And so we reach the end of our little program. I trust you found it illuminating, though I suppose that's rather the wrong word, isn't it? Illumination appears to have fallen somewhat out of favor. I've always believed that the most effective horror isn't found in darkness, but in light. In seeing clearly what you wish you hadn't seen. In understanding precisely what's happening to you and being powerless to stop it. Our story tonight's provided both in abundance. The sun, that ancient symbol of life and warmth and hope, revealed to be something rather different. A door that opened. Or perhaps a door that was always open, and we simply never noticed what was watching us through it. What I find most unsettling isn't the transformation itself. Bodies becoming fluid, merging together, losing their boundaries. That's merely biology taking an unexpected turn. No, what troubles me is the sincerity. They genuinely believe they're helping. They reach for us with love in whatever passes for their hearts. It'd be so much easier if they were simply predators. Predators can be fought. Predators can be understood. But a billion hands reaching toward you, insisting that everything will be better once you stop struggling, that's a different kind of nightmare entirely. The survivors remain in their bunkers and mines, in submarines and sealed facilities, counting days and documenting temperatures. Growing food in the dark, fishing water so deep the sun's never reached it, recording everything methodically as if someone might care to read it someday. We document our own extinction. The bombardment did work after a fashion. The masses are dormant now, frozen in pools and valleys, their metabolism slowed to almost nothing. But they're not gone, they're sleeping. And the debris cloud that's keeping them asleep is settling at approximately 2% per quarter, which means in 40 or 50 years the sun will shine through again. And they'll remember us. They'll remember everyone. We don't resolve our stories here. Resolution implies understanding, and understanding implies control, and control's the first illusion to evaporate when the day breaks. What we offer instead's a pause, not stillness. A pause measured in decades. The sun's been patient for 4.5 billion years. It can wait for the ash to settle. I do hope you've enjoyed our program. Though enjoyed may not be the right word. Endured, perhaps. Survived. Yes, I think survived's more appropriate. Until next time, keep your windows covered and your doors sealed. Don't answer voices you recognize. Document what you can while you can. And whatever you do, don't look at the sun. It's not finished watching. Good night.
The light is a gift, the warmth is a home. Shed your skin, you are not alone. Shed your skin, you are not alone. No more shadows.